You're welcome once again. It's a privilege to be here once again. And I want to appreciate God for every platform and opportunity to get across to each and every one of you out there. Beloved, today, in continuation of what we've started, I just want to continue today and by looking at what I title platform, common platform for midlife crisis, common platform for midlife crisis. Like I shared with us the other time, today I would like to consider the life of David. You remember along the line, there came a point in time in the life of David. He had everything going smoothly for him. He had practically everything going smoothly for him. And you also remember that despite several attempts on the part of King Saul to get at him, Saul couldn't just succeed in really uh, prevailing over the life of King David. So he was so privileged that he started well. He had everything going smoothly. And if you still remember how David was selected, he was in the wilderness when the Lord sent Prophet Samuel to the family. And on getting there, the Samuel was told that he's somewhere. He was not at home as at the time Samuel got to the family, and Samuel had to examine all the other brothers of his. And then you equally agree with me that despite the fact that I was not at home, yet the Lord still, was still selected by the Lord. Uh, Aside from that, you also discover that he was favored. Practically everything he lay his hand on, practically everything was going smoothly for King David and the young man David. Then you also remember when he was in the wilderness, as attested by him, that it was when lion and bear came, he was able to use his hand to kill, to thaw the bear and the lion that came after the father's sheep. Here is, this is just too wonderful of a life of a young man being so much that so much enjoyed the grace and the divine protection and the power of God upon his life. And then you also discover that along the line, when Goliath, uh, they had, confronted the army of the Israelites, it was through this same David that the Lord brought deliverance to the people of Israel. And there and then you discover he had everything practically going on smoothly as expected. But along the line, you remember, eventually he became a king. He was appointed, he became a king, and he did not just stop there. Along the line, there came a point in time in the life of King David that David had to, lust after another man's wife. And eventually, he slept with the another man's wife. And then that marks the beginning of his problem. And then you remember that Ammon and Tamar never knew. They never envisaged. They had equally, these are children of King David, born to him. They have everything going smoothly for them, but not knowing that something was waiting for them at a particular spot in their life, at a particular junction of their life. As a result of what? As a result of the sin of the father. And this gives me one of the reasons why I tag our point of discussion today as a platform for midlife crisis. In the life of Ammon and Tamar, it was the sin of the father that served as the basis, the bedrock for the problem this guy eventually had by sleeping with the sister. And eventually, this young man lost his life. And then Tamar as well was also disvirgin by his own brother. Beloved, with my little experience in life and in ministry, I've come to discover that a lot of so many Christians and so many individuals today, they find themselves in some situations they never envisaged in their life. They had practically everything going smoothly for them. In fact, some were born, I would say, with a silver spoon right in their mouth. They have the best education, they have the best training, they have the best upbringing. But along the line, it got to a stage in life that things begin to, looks a bit difficult. And then they now begin to ask themselves all kind of questions. Why this? Why that? Why am I going through this? Why do I find myself in this situation? Situation they never envisage in life. Probably you, my listeners out there, you could probably find yourself in such a situation. Just like in the case of David, that Ammon and Tamar had to pay dearly for the sin of their father. This is also commonly applicable to us in Africa. There are some of us today, that we find ourselves going through some situation all just because of the sin and the lifestyle of our generations, our forefathers, the way they live their life, some certain sins they've committed only for us, because see, when it comes to individuals being born, we don't have a say. We only just find ourselves in the family where we just find ourselves. We don't have a say as to where to be born. If majority of us were to have a say as to where we should be born, I'm sure majority of us wouldn't have choose the family where we all came out from. So I'm sure the same thing applicable to Ammon and Tamar. And Ammon never knew that what actually affected him, and for him that made him to begin to lust after his own sister, was as a result of the consequences of divine judgment upon their father. And this young man paid dearly for it. So also Tamar also also lost her virginity. Became it became so a thing of shame for the royal family. So at the point in time, the royal family had everything going smoothly for them. Things were, and all of a sudden, at a particular point in time, things just begin to nosedive. All kind of things they never envisaged, attitude they never expected could be demonstrated by the children. Even the royal family, they now just begin to see. And the children now begin to put up all kind of attitude. And then maybe your own family, probably your family could be placed side by side the family of King David. You had everything going smoothly for you. You were born with a silver spoon, only for you to just get to a point in time and I just discovered that some certain things begin to happen within your family, or which you could not even account for, or which you could not even explain the rationale behind such. Maybe probably in the process you lost one of your siblings. This is one of the things I call midlife crisis. That you just wake up finding yourself in some situations beyond your power, beyond your control, and things just begin to play out in your life. And in the process, it's just so bad that before you could just realize you've lost 1, 2, 3 members of your family. That's based on the life of David. You could also just discover, if you take time to read through the life of the family of David, the entire family was in a complete mess. I don't know, probably maybe you, my listener out there, your situation is almost like the life of King David of the scripture. Maybe your own life also, your family. You had everything. In fact, you were born in a royal home. But as we speak now, everything, have all scattered. And that to the point that the center could no longer hold in your family. Now, you remember that when you all started, it was to kind of loving family. But as we speak now, both your parents are no longer together. These are things I'm sure they never envisaged that a time will come they will scatter. I'm sure they never envisaged that a time will come that they will be separated. I'm sure they never believe envisaged that a time will come that even their children will be victim of separation and probably divorce. Beloved, this from my own practical understanding and experience, I tag this as midlife crisis, of which you, one way or the other, you end up being going through. Then, when we also look at the further effects of sin in some family, you also remember there was a particular family that the father ate grape and the teeth of the children were set on edge. I'm sure these children never envisage in their life that the family where they all came up from, something went wrong with their forefathers that will later now begin to affect the children. There are several homes and families today in Africa and in some other part of the world that the children are now paying dearly for the sins of their parents, for the sins of their ancestors. Most especially we in Africa, we only just wake up to end up discovering that we just find ourselves. And in fact, sometimes it could be so bad that you see some individuals that this situation sometimes as a result of the consequences of the sin of the father will end up affecting their health. Look at some family, they don't enjoy their health. In some family, people don't live long. In some family, people don't enjoy their matrimonial home, no matter the type and the kind of wedding ceremony they had. It could be a societal wedding. If in such a family nobody enjoyed their matrimonial home, automatically such individual would one day separate and go their separate ways, and the children become victims. There are some family also that as a result of the sins of the family of ancestors, what happened is that they all start very well. They start very well in life, and everything's working smoothly for them. Only for them to get to a particular age in life, and everything they all labor for in their life begin to nosedive in their very own eyes. These and several others. Then aside from these, that things begin to nosedive. There are some family that when it gets to the peak at the peak of success and breakthrough in their life, everything begin to crumble. Everything begin to collapse in their very presence. In some family, it's like an operation, wait till only God knows. They'll start, you just discover that in some home, they have so many number of girls, but yet unmarried. It's not because they are not beautiful. It's not because they are not intelligent. It's not because they are not well endowed. They're well endowed. But one way or the other, as a result of effect of the sins of their ancestor, you just discover that in Africa generally, we can't rule all this out, especially my African brethren. You all understand what I'm saying. That the time you just come that you just see in some community, don't know, you just see peculiar traits in some family. What happened to the father is exactly what happened to the son. What happened to the mother is exactly what happened to the daughter. What happened to the first child is exactly what happened to the second child, is exactly what happened to the third child, and on like that. Beloved, if you're going through this, I've come to tell you that the reason why you are going through this midlife crisis is because of what I call the sin, the foundation that is faulty. And that's why I said I'm looking at the platform for midlife crisis. So one of the platform for midlife crisis is what I tag the sins of our forefathers. The sins of our forefathers. I've come in contact with so many individuals in life and in ministry that I discovered that as today they are paying dearly for the sins of their forefathers. Or probably it could be that in the course of their journey in life that their mother happens to be a notorious and wicked individuals. How do you now account for some homes that you just discover that the particular problem that the mother is having is exactly the same thing that the daughter is having? The mother have a problem with a matrimonial home, so also the daughter have a problem with a matrimonial home. So also all members of the family having the same peculiar problem. This you just I want you to know that there is a platform, and that platform could be traced to the sins of the forefathers. Then aside from that, another thing that I also would like to discuss, there are so many, but I just want to be taking them one after the other. If you're blessed through this, I want you to, you know, book a date with me on the same platform to also continue to listen and to other platform, because there are several platforms that I've been able to identify, or which I may not be able to release everything at a stretch in just one presentation. But I would like to look at another platform, platform for midlife crisis. That's why with the first one that I've discussed, that is the sins of our ancestors. If you are yet to find yourself or walk into this crisis, this is an opportunity for you to now be to sit down. Take time to look into the life of your siblings, and then take time to look. And once you are able to identify some particular challenges in their life, just know for sure that your own may be waiting for you. You may likely one day walk into them, and then they now begin to play out in your life. So if you've not walked into such, I congratulate you. As you are hearing this, is opportunity for you to sit back and then decide on what to do towards ensuring that you do not walk into them, and all this situation does not play out in your own life. Now, how do you overcome? How do you get to this? How do you overcome this and ensure that this does not play out in your life? Is by number one, giving your life to the Lord Jesus Christ. Without Jesus, no way out. And then accepting Him as a personal Lord and Savior. Confess the sin of probably whether the one you know, the one you don't know. Just like Nehemiah in Nehemiah chapter 1, verse 1 and 2. You have to be identified with the sins of your ancestors and ask for God's forgiveness. And wherever this is playing out in your life, affecting your life, are about to set some things in place in your life, then you need to pray to God to begin to nullify and avert such for you. Once these things are cancelled, then I want to congratulate you that you're starting on a clean note, and then ask for God to rewrite your story. And I know for sure God will reorder everything and ensure that what play out in the life of others in your family will not play out in your own life. Then second platform that I also want to discuss quickly is early life mistake. Early life mistake. You know, when we all probably sometimes make mistakes in life, and some of these mistakes, can I just point out? There are several of them that I want you to know. This thing is going to be kind of a systematic study for some period. It's going to be a systematic study for some period which we may not likely be able to exhaust the whole thing. But I'll just under this early life mistake. It could be in the area of marriage. When you marry to the wrong guy, or marry to the wrong lady, automatically you are writing a letter for midlife crisis. That is the reason why this issue of marriage is not just something you just sit down one day and say because you've seen a beautiful lady. A beautiful lady may not be a matrimonial material. That a guy is handsome does not mean that a guy is a material for marriage. A guy may be handsome and not have a stuff up there. A guy may be handsome and not be a match for your destiny. A guy may be handsome and not have all it takes to support you towards the actualization of your God-given potential, God-given vision, and God-given are good for your life. There are so many ladies today that have married some guys on the basis of their eloquency, only for them to later be regretting in their life. That a guy is good looking does not guarantee a good marriage. That a lady is beautiful does not equally guarantee a success in home. A lady may be beautiful and yet not be a matrimonial material. A lady may be beautiful, may be beautiful, may be eloquent, and yet not be a wife material. So you need to sit back and ask yourself, where you're going determine the kind of person you marry. If you marry a wrong person by the reason of your choice, early life mistake in the aspect of marriage, then you should be ready, and you should also bear in mind that you will pay the price. The reason why some individuals are regretting their marriage today was because of the early life error and mistake in the choice of a marriage partner. You marry the wrong partner, you are writing a letter for a midlife crisis. That a guy is intelligent while you are in the university does not guarantee that that same guy will still remain whom you think he should be. Along the line, the guy could wake up one day and then turn out to be another thing entirely directly opposite, may equally end up becoming your nightmare that you live to regret for the rest of your life. And so that is the reason why when it comes to the midlife crisis, I do tell the individual, it could be for a short period of time or it could be for a lifetime. It could be for a short period of time or it could be for a lifetime, depending on the platform, the premise for such a crisis. If it is marriage and you're a Christian, you know, to me, I don't believe in divorce. I don't believe in separation. If you so careless and you marry the wrong guy, then my own understanding and orientation is that till death do you part. You have to, that becomes your cross that you have to carry. It's not that I get to a stage, you say, man of God, I mistakenly married this guy. I later discover he does not possess all that I ever envisage in life. That is your cross. That's why, see, if we say love is blind, but when you get into it, it will open your eyes. Your eyes will be open. That's why you don't close your eyes when you are looking for a guy to go with you into your future, or a lady you are to spend the rest of your life with. You must open your eyes. Your kind of life, your envisage, you must sit back and carefully evaluate, do a thorough visibility study, an holistic evaluation of who should be. You can't just, for instance, you're planning and you're trusting that one day the Lord will make a king out of your life, or a president out of your life, a governor out of your life, and you now end up marrying somebody that is illiterate, somebody that does not know left from right, an individual that could neither read nor write. You should know you've already written a letter to midlife crisis. So don't become so desperate. And then aside from it, under the platform of early life mistakes, you see most of our celebrities today, they don't have a home because of early life mistake of choice of married partner. Some of them, they could not control their libido. Some of the ladies, they could not even control their passion, their urge, their sexual urge. And in the process, they open their legs for every Tom, Dick, and Harry. And in the process today, they are in and out of several marriages and several homes. And today, with several children out of holy wedlock. And as of today, as a young man, you are not yet 30. You already have 6 children from 6 different women. That is crisis, for God's sake. If you are to avoid this, please control your libido. Bear in mind that you are not the only person that would be going through such a urge. If you don't want to jeopardize your future, if you don't want to mortgage your happiness in future for just 5 minutes enjoyment, then you've got to control yourself. You've got to tame your passion. Your sexual urge must be controlled. Else, we have so many records like in Nigeria, where you know of some of these. Today, it has become a norm in Nigeria, for instance, that you see most of our celebrities. They it's so bad that you see all of them. There is hardly any of them without baby mamas. And also some of these ladies as well, because they are not thinking properly. They end up turning themselves into baby mama. It's because they are not thinking right. Because if you're thinking right, how on earth will you wake up? Or what will you say to such a child in future that you were a baby mama for crying out loud, all because of money? Is money all about? Is your life all about money? See, the scripture says the life of a man is not constituted in the abundance of what he has. So many people have money today, but they don't have a joy. They don't have a peace of mind. You can have money, and money cannot buy you marriage. It takes maturity. It takes understanding. It takes discipline for you to have a good home, a decent home in future. A home that will give you peace of mind, not a home where you have almost 6, 7, 10 children from different good ladies, different women. And you are moving from one bed to the other, and as a lady, you are jumping from one bed to the other. You will regret this later in future. These at the point in time may count against you. If you had the opportunity of getting close to most of the individuals that have experienced this in life, they will tell you that it is not the best kind of life. This will create mid-life crisis. When your mates are relaxing in the comfort of their matrimonial home, you won't be able to have a home. The peace of mind will not be there. And when your children begin to ask you, this one ask you, there are some mothers today that are so shameless that when the children has a mom, who is my dad? I said, so person is your dad. This one will go, who is my dad? And to just one woman, almost about 7 men in their life. And some men as well, almost about 6, 7, 12 ladies in their life with children. For crying out loud, you are inviting letters. We are writing letters to midlife crisis. So I want to beg you. And then, aside from that, there are another early life errors. Is the way you use your life, the way you spend your life. You become so careless, jumping from one bed to the other. And in the process, you got entangled with wrong guys who kept promising you that, sometimes, some guys are so all this sugar coated on. They have a way of just telling some ladies that they love them. How would a guy says he loves you and yet pregnated you and also asks you to go and abort the baby? When you abort a baby, it is not the guy that will be affected. It is you that will be affected. What if in the process your womb got ruptured? Or your fallopian tube had a problem. In future, when you now want to settle down, to now be thinking of having a decent home, you may likely end up having a problem of infertility, inability to be able to conceive in future. And some guys as well, you may end up as well in the process of sleeping with ladies that you think, oh, you are Mr. Randy. There are so many guys that slept with demonic agents, and in the process, they put a mark on them never that will affect their ability to father a child. I know so many guys today, they are regretting their life. And probably if you've not found yourself at this level, I believe the Lord is bringing this your way to be able to help in preventing you from ending up in life at that particular at a point in time in your life where you have this kind of crisis where you'll be having problem with infertility. 35% of my research into infertility were in Africa, precisely using Nigeria as a case study, is as a result of early life errors and mistakes in the way some girls and some guys live their life, jumping from lady to lady, jumping from bed to bed, jumping from one man's bed to the other. And in the process, they contacted all kinds of either spiritual problems that have affected their infertility or venerable diseases, incurable ones that have affected them. If you don't want to find yourself in this situation, because in the process, what if in the process your womb get removed? You can't blame this on anybody. It becomes a problem for you in future. So probably you are out there, the young lady, you are listening to me. If you don't want to end up having problem with infertility in future, that will become a midlife crisis for you. That probably may cost you your home, may cost you your marriage, may cost you your life. Then it's high time you retrace your step. I beg you in the name of Jesus Christ. Please retrace your step and stop all these razzmatazz that you think you are enjoying your life. There is no enjoyment in what you are doing. Several guys sleeping with you. Are you not afraid of your life? Are you not afraid? Are you not afraid? See, diseases are not written on the forehead of anybody. And so please, I want you to please mend your ways. Retrace your step if you don't want to regret in future. Aside from these aspects of randy lifestyle, jumping from bed to bed, thinking you are enjoying, there's no enjoyment in it, probably because you are in junior school and you believe that that is what is in vogue. It is not what is in vogue. It is not what is in vogue. You are a lady, you cannot control your body. You cannot discipline your body. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry, gorilla, monkey, they all come touch your body. You see, it shows that you don't have a value. You don't regard your body. It shows that your body is of no regard to you. If you truly cherish your body, it's something that really worth conserving and preserving for just one person. For the sake of your life. And in the process, early life error as well, that I also want to just speak. Like I said, there are so many of them, but I just want to be taking them one after the other. It's going to take us a long period. It's going to take us a long. Another one that I also want to discuss with us, early life mistakes is when we fail. Bible says there is time for everything under the heaven. There are seasons for things. When you ought to take some certain step and you're unable to take the step, you are writing letters for midlife crisis. When you ought to be in school, or for instance, you are in school and you don't tend to take your education serious, you are just playing around, you are writing a letter to midlife crisis. Because a time will come in your future that what you think you are enjoying today, you will pay dearly for it tomorrow. Your colleagues, because when your colleagues are serious with their studies, you are busy gallivanting from place to place. See, and in the process, this your mate, they will have good result. They will proceed in their life. They will get better jobs, graduate from universities or tertiary institution, get better job. But you end up doing menial jobs. Because of what? You don't have a certificate to be able to get the desirable job you ever dreamt of in life. And that is the reason why you see some individual. And once you're unable to find yourself where you actually envisage in life, that becomes a crisis. You'll now be going through the challenges. Because where you naturally, let's say for instance, your mates are graduates of university, you're supposed to face the studies, and you're actually supposed to graduate, to finish from the university, and as an accountant, as student of accountancy, or complete your program of studies in university in the study medicine university and proceed to College of Medicine and do your housemanship and then become conferred medical doctor, and you are unable to do all this, and you became so playful in the course of your journey. automatically, when your mates that took their own studies serious become confirmed medical doctor, you will may likely end up becoming a driver. And you can't expect that what the medical doctor is what a driver or a security, a guard or a gardener will be earning. It's not going to be possible. And I also want to say this for you. Bear in mind, we all go to the same market. We all go to the same market. We also the same cost of product. So if you don't want to get to a point in life where you'll be having issues, you've got to take your studies serious. You don't need any prophet to tell you this. This is not the time for you to be gallivanting. This is a time for you to take life serious. There are some individuals, early life heroes. They are sleeping well while their mates, are busy burning the midnight candle. When you are busy sleeping, when your mates are burning the midnight candle, you are writing a letter for midlife crisis. Probably, for instance, you are the procrastinating time. You keep procrastinating things. You are writing letters to midlife crisis. And so at this point, I would just want to, there's so many, like for another point I also like to take before I close today is the early life mistake in financial prudency. There are so many individuals, today in Africa. Can I just share this experience with the founder of Zenith Bank? Is well known. The same year, he started Zenith Bank in collaboration with some of his friends. That same year, the actual amount that he put together to start, to commence that business, to start off that business, was equally the same amount of money a juju musician in Nigeria used in building a house. On the contrary, this other guy, the founder of Zenith Bank, used his own to establish an organization, a financial institution, while the other individual built a house with automated gates. Today, who is suffering the consequences is the other man who used the same 20 million naira to build a house with automated gates that is suffering. Why the other man who used the same amount of money to set up our organization today? Zenith Bank has become a global and household name. An household name. Early life mistake in financial prudency may cause you cause you midlife crisis, may create midlife crisis for you. And that's the reason why you must take time. You must be careful. Every penny that crosses your hand, what do you do with them? You hit them. Every money that crosses your hand in your early life should be seen as a seed to be invested, not as money to be spent on buying frivolous things, buying clothes, buying car. You buy car, the moment you're out of the dealer's showroom, it begins to depreciate. As a good financial, well-disciplined individual, thinking of the future and trying to avoid midlife financial crisis, what do? You begin to invest your money on things that has value, like real estate, like land, not on clothes, not on celebration, especially you, my brothers and sisters in Nigeria. You spend a lot of money on celebrations for just recognition, for just one day celebration. Sometimes if you look at some individual, the money that will have lasted them a lifetime, they spend such money on just on wedding celebration, wedding ceremony. some all kind of celebrations, all kind of parties, and so on and so forth. See, if you are not if you're not writing a letter, if you don't want to write a letter, if you don't want to write a letter to midlife financial crisis, then please, you must sit down now. If you are not yet there, congratulations. But if you are there, then that means you have to make sure you keep listening and keep searching for this platform until you get to the one where I now begin to list out way out of midlife crisis. But till then, I'll still continue to be looking at platform for the bedrock for midlife crisis. Please, early life mistakes, financial indiscipline. Every money that comes to your hand, there are seeds. So it all depends on the future. So when money crosses your hand, what do you see? Do you see them as something to be spent, to buy clothes that will fade out tomorrow, or to spend buying drinks, celebrating, calling your friends, eating all kind of junks? If that is what you are only eating away your future little by little. That's why so many Africans are poor. Because financial, an average Africans, except some very few, lack financial intelligence. Every money that comes, we want to make, we want to show. Even despite the fact that the people you are trying to impress does not even know that you are there. They do not even know. They do not even see you. And yet you are on your own part, you are trying to impress. Impress who? Stop impressing people, for crying out loud. Some of us will go for big cars, vehicles you cannot maintain, instead of investing on something that will yield returns. I would like to pause here and I await your feedbacks, and then keep listening to this platform. Keep listening to this platform. It's going to take us almost, I don't know, let me not just envisage for now, but it's going to take us some time. And then, but I look forward to your feedback. And probably if you're already in one of the crises presently that I've mentioned, then we need to talk. We need to talk. We need to talk and think of the way out. And till when next we meet, well, I come your way. I say, remain blessed, remain blessed, remain blessed. God bless you.